Admiral stood at the edge of the massive hole in the ground. The excavation site was deep in the mountains of Korea, far from any city or town. His breath made small clouds in the cold morning air. Below him, hundreds of workers moved like ants, digging deeper and deeper into the earth. 3 months ago, a satellite had detected something strange beneath these mountains, something that should not exist, something that was clearly not natural. The signal was unlike anything human technology had ever produced. It was old, very old, and it was still active. Had seen many strange things in his 30 years of military service. He had commanded ships in space. He had met alien species from distant stars. He had witnessed battles that killed thousands, but nothing had prepared him for what waited at the bottom of this hole. His communicator buzzed. It was the lead scientist on the project. "Admiral, we have reached the outer shell," she said. Her voice was calm but could hear excitement underneath. "You need to come down here, now." Took the elevator down into the pit. The walls around him changed as he descended. First dirt, then rock, then something else entirely. The last 100 meters were surrounded by a strange black material that seemed to absorb light. It was smooth and cold, and it hummed with energy. Waited for him at the bottom. She was a small woman with short black hair and tired eyes. She had not slept properly in weeks. None of them had. "Look at this," she said, pointing at the wall. Looked, symbols covered the black surface. They were not Korean. They were not any human language. They were alien. "We translated some of it," continued. "What we found is difficult to accept." She handed him a tablet. On the screen was a partial translation of the symbols. Read it slowly, his face growing pale with each word. The message was simple. It was a warning label, like the kind you might find on a dangerous machine. But this machine was not meant to protect humans. It was meant to control them. "This is a suppressor," explained. "According to what we translated, it was placed here over 100,000 years ago. Its purpose is to limit the development of the human species." Felt his hand shake. "Limit us how?" "In every way possible. Our physical strength, our mental capacity, our natural abilities, all of it has been artificially reduced. We are not what we were meant to be, Admiral. We have been held back." Stared at the massive structure before him. It stretched for kilometers in every direction, buried deep beneath the mountains. It was a cage, a prison built by unknown hands, and humanity had been its prisoner for 100,000 years. "Who built this?" he asked. His face was dark. The symbols mentioned something called the Galactic Council. They are the governing body of all known alien species. We have had contact with them for 50 years. They welcomed us into the galaxy. They said they were our friends. They lied. Yes, they lied. Thought about all the times humans had dealt with alien species, the trade agreements that never seemed fair, the technology that was always slightly worse than what other species had, the subtle insults and dismissals. Humans were tolerated but never respected. Now he understood why. They were afraid. "Can we turn it off?" he asked. Nodded slowly. "We believe so, but we do not know what will happen. The changes might be gradual, or they might be immediate and dangerous. We could be unleashing something we cannot control." Looked at the suppressor. It had stolen everything from his people, their true potential, their rightful place in the galaxy, their very nature as a species. For 100,000 years, humans had struggled and suffered, never knowing that they were meant for so much more. "Turn it off," he said. "Admiral, we should discuss this with." "Turn it off now." She hesitated for only a moment. Then she nodded and walked to the control panel her team had discovered. Her fingers moved across the alien interface. Lights flickered. The humming grew louder. And then it stopped. The silence was absolute. Felt something shift inside him. It was subtle at first, like a pressure he had never noticed suddenly releasing. His vision became clearer. His thoughts became sharper. His body felt lighter and stronger. Around him, the workers had stopped moving. They were all feeling it too. Something ancient and powerful was waking up inside them, something that had been sleeping for a very long time. Looked at her own hands with wonder. "It worked," she whispered. "We are free." But was not celebrating. He was thinking about the Galactic Council, about all the species who had known about this and said nothing, about the lies and the betrayal and the theft of humanity's birthright. They had caged humanity like animals. They had feared what humans might become, and now that fear was about to come true. Pulled out his communicator and contacted his ship in orbit. "This is Admiral. I need an emergency meeting with the President and all military commanders. Priority 1. "Understood, Admiral. What should I tell them?" Looked at the dead suppressor one last time. Then he looked at his hands, feeling the power building inside him. "Tell them everything has changed. Tell them we finally know the truth, and tell them to prepare for war." High above Earth, in the cold darkness of space, alien listening posts picked up the transmission. Warning signals flashed across the galaxy. The Galactic Council received the news within hours. The humans had found the suppressor. The humans had turned it off. The chains were broken. And across 1,000 worlds, ancient fears began to stir. The first week after the suppressor died was chaos. Had not slept in 4 days. She sat in her laboratory, surrounded by screens showing data from around the world. Every hospital was full. Every doctor was confused. Something was happening to humanity, and nobody could explain it. At first, people thought it was a disease. Reports came in from every country. People were changing. Their bodies were getting stronger. Their minds were getting faster. Old wounds were healing in hours instead of weeks. Diseases that had no cure were simply disappearing. A grandmother in Japan woke up one morning with perfect vision. She had been blind for 20 years. A factory worker in Germany lifted a car to save a trapped child. He was 63 years old. A student in Brazil solved a mathematics problem that had puzzled scientists for centuries. She did it in an afternoon. And this was only the beginning. His job was to understand what was happening. She studied the data from the suppressor before they had turned it off. The alien technology had been precise and cruel. It had targeted everything that made humans special. Human muscles were designed to be 3 times stronger than they currently were. The suppressor had weakened them. Human brains could process information 10 times faster. The suppressor had slowed them down. Human were meant to stretch for hundreds of years. The suppressor had shortened them to mere decades. Every limitation, every weakness, every flaw that humans had accepted as natural was actually artificial. They had been created by the suppressor to keep humanity small and controllable. Admiral visited her laboratory on the 5th day. He looked different, taller somehow, more alert. His gray hair was slowly turning black again. "What is the timeline?" he asked. Showed him the projections on her screen. "The changes are accelerating. Right now, the average human is about 20% beyond normal limits. In 1 month, we estimate that number will be 50%. In 3 months, we will reach our full potential." "And what is our full potential?" Hesitated. "Based on the suppressor data, a fully awakened human will be physically stronger than most alien species. Our reflexes will be faster, our thinking will be sharper, and our bodies will repair damage that would kill any other creature." Nodded slowly. The aliens knew all of this. They must have. The suppressor was built specifically for us. Every function was designed around human biology. They studied us. They understood what we could become, and they decided to stop it. Because they were afraid. Yes, because they were afraid. Walked to the window and looked out at the city below. People were in the streets, testing their new abilities. A young boy jumped higher than any human had ever jumped before. An old man ran faster than Olympic athletes. Children were laughing and playing with strength that would have been impossible a week ago. It was beautiful, and it was terrifying. "The Galactic Council will not accept this," said. "They suppressed us for a reason. They will try to put the chains back on." "Can they?" asked. "They will try. We need to be ready." That night addressed the world. Every screen on every device showed his face. He stood in front of the flag of Earth, wearing his military uniform. Behind him stood leaders from every nation, united for the first time in human history. "People of Earth," he began, "you have all felt the changes happening in your bodies. You have wondered what is causing this. Today I will tell you the truth." He explained everything: the suppressor, the Galactic Council, the 100,000 years of imprisonment. He showed images of the alien machine buried beneath Korea. He shared the translations of the alien symbols. The world listened in silence. "We were meant to be more than what we are," continued. "We were meant to be stronger, smarter, and longer-lived. But the aliens of this galaxy feared us. They feared what we might become. So they built a cage for us before we even knew they existed." His voice grew harder. "That cage is now broken. The chains are gone, and we are finally becoming what we were always meant to be." Watched the broadcast from her laboratory. She saw people crying in the streets. Some cried from anger, some cried from joy. All of them cried because they finally understood. Every failure, every limitation, every time a human had been told they were not good enough, it was all a lie. They had been held back by forces beyond their control, and now that control was gone. Over the following weeks, humanity transformed. Scientists made discoveries that should have taken decades. They finished in days. Engineers built machines that should have been impossible. They worked perfectly. Athletes broke every record ever set. Then they broke those records again. And through it all continued her research. She wanted to understand everything about the suppressor. Who built it? How did it work? And most importantly, could it be turned back on? She found her answer deep in the alien data files. There was not just one suppressor. There were thousands. Every planet with intelligent life had one. The Galactic Council had been doing this for millions of years. Any species that showed too much potential was quietly reduced, controlled, contained. Humanity was not the first victim. They were just the latest. Took this information too. His face was calm as he read the report, but his eyes burned with cold fury. "They have done this to others," he said. "Yes, many others." "Then this is not just about Earth. This is about every species they have ever enslaved." Nodded. "The suppressors are still active on other worlds. Those species do not know they are in cages. They do not know they could be more." Stood up and walked to the window again. Outside, a new world was being born. A world of humans who were finally reaching their full potential. "We will free them," he said quietly. "We will free them all." But first, they had to deal with the Galactic Council, the aliens who had imprisoned them, the aliens who would surely try to stop them. The awakening was complete. Now came the reckoning. The Galactic Council headquarters floated in the center of a massive space station. Representatives from 300 species gathered there to discuss matters of trade, war, and peace. For 50 years, humans had sent their own representatives to this station. For 50 years, humans had been treated like children who were allowed to sit at the adult table. That was about to change. Ambassador of the species called the emergency meeting. They were tall and thin, with silver skin and 4 arms. They had ruled the council for 10,000 years. They were used to being in control. Today they looked afraid. "The situation on Earth is serious," announced to the assembled representatives. "The suppressor has been deactivated. The humans are changing." Whispers filled the chamber. Every species knew about the suppressors. Every species had agreed to keep them secret. It was the oldest law of the council: created long before any current member was born. Some species were too dangerous to develop naturally. They had to be controlled. Humanity was at the top of that list. "How much have they changed?" asked a representative from a species of warriors with rough gray skin and sharp teeth. "Our reports suggest they have already exceeded their original limitations by 40%, answered. "And the changes are accelerating. If this continues, within months they will be among the most powerful species in the galaxy." Fear spread through the chamber like a wave. "We must act immediately," said an elder. "Send a fleet, repair the suppressor, or destroy it and build a new one. And if the humans resist, then we do what must be done." The chamber began to vote. One by one, species raised their support for military action against Earth. The decision seemed certain. Then the screens activated. Every display in the chamber suddenly showed the same image. A human face, strong and determined. It was Admiral, and he was looking directly at them. "Greetings to the Galactic Council," he said. His voice was cold and clear. "I am Admiral of Earth. I have a message for all of you." Guards rushed to disconnect the transmission. They failed. Human engineers, now enhanced beyond normal ability, had taken control of every communication system in the galaxy. The message could not be stopped. "For 50 years we believed you were our friends," continued. "We believed you welcomed us into your community. We were grateful. We were humble. We trusted you." His eyes narrowed. "We were fools." The chamber was completely silent. Every representative watched the screen, unable to look away. "We found the suppressor beneath our mountains. We decoded its data. We know everything. We know you built it 100,000 years ago. We know you designed it to weaken us in every possible way. We know you have been watching us struggle and suffer for 100 while you lived in comfort and power." Leaned closer to the camera. "You caged us. You lied to us. You stole our potential, and you did it because you were afraid of what we might become." He paused. "You were right to be afraid." Ambassador found his voice. "Admiral, please understand, the suppressor was built for the safety of the entire galaxy. Your species has certain tendencies that—" "Silence." His voice cut through the air like a blade. "You do not get to explain. You do not get to justify. You had 100,000 years to treat us fairly. You chose to enslave us instead." On the screen, other humans appeared behind. The scientist who had decoded the suppressor. Commander, head of Earth's new military forces. Leaders from every nation on Earth. They stood together, united. "This is your only warning," said. "We know the Council is planning to attack Earth. We know you want to restore the suppressor. We know you think you can put us back in chains." He smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "Try it." The transmission ended. The chamber erupted into chaos. Some representatives demanded immediate attack. Others counseled patience and diplomacy. A few quietly slipped away, wanting no part of what was coming. Ambassador called for order. "We must respond with strength," he declared. "The humans are still few in number. Their technology is still inferior to ours. If we act now while they are still transforming, we can contain this situation." "And if we fail?" asked the warrior. "We will not fail. Assemble the combined fleet. Every species will contribute ships. We will show the humans that the galaxy will not bow to their threats." The vote was unanimous. War was declared. Across the galaxy, warships began to move. Thousands of vessels from hundreds of species gathered into a fleet larger than any in recorded history. They set course for Earth. On Earth, watched the fleet assembly through her sensors. The numbers were staggering. Even with enhanced abilities, humanity had only a fraction of those forces. "They are bringing everything," she said to every ship they have. Nodded. "Good. That means they are scared." "Scared is not the same as defeated. We are still outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Numbers are not everything, smiled. They think they know what humans are capable of. They are wrong. They built their suppressor based on what we were 100,000 years ago. They have no idea what we have become since then. Even held back, we grew. We learned. We evolved. Now, without the chains, we are something entirely new. Commander entered the room. She was tall and fierce, with eyes that missed nothing. In the past month, she had transformed Earth's defense forces into something the galaxy had never seen. "The fleet is ready," she reported. "All ships are in position. All crews are prepared." "How do our people feel?" asked. Smiled. "They feel strong, they feel angry, and they feel ready." Stood up and looked at the stars through his window. Somewhere out there, an armada was coming to destroy everything he loved, everything humanity had finally become. They thought they were bringing an army to punish a rebellious species. They were wrong. They were walking into a war they could not win. "Let them come," said quietly. "Let them all come, and let us show the galaxy what happens when you try to cage humanity." The waiting was over. The battle was about to begin. The alien fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. 12,000 warships from over 200 species. The largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. They came to teach humanity a lesson. They would learn a very different one instead. Commander stood on the bridge of the flagship Unity. Around her, officers worked with speed and precision that would have been impossible just 2 months ago. Their enhanced minds processed information faster than any computer. Their enhanced bodies never tired. "Enemy fleet is in sensor range," reported her tactical officer. "They are taking attack formation." Studied the display. The alien ships were arranging themselves in a classic pattern, a wall of heavy warships in front, smaller vessels behind for support. It was a formation designed for overwhelming force. It was also predictable. "How long until they reach weapons range?" she asked. "At current speed, 4 hours. Nodded. "Signal all ships. We move in 30 minutes, and remind everyone no mercy." In the alien fleet, Admiral watched the human positions with confusion. Earth's fleet was tiny compared to his forces. Less than 300 ships. They should be hiding behind their planet, using it for protection. Instead, they were moving forward. "They are attacking," said his tactical officer, disbelief in his voice. 300 ships against 12,000. They are insane." "No," said slowly. "They are testing us, showing courage before they surrender. It is a human thing. Let them come. Let them see our power. Then they will understand their mistake." He was wrong. The human fleet crossed the space between the forces faster than any ship should be able to move. Watched his sensors in shock. The human vessels were using engines that did not exist in galactic records. Technology that should have been impossible. "How are they moving that fast?" he demanded. Nobody could answer. The first human ships reached the alien formation. They did not slow down. They did not try to form battle lines. They flew directly into the wall of heavy warships like arrows through paper. And they started shooting. Human weapons were not supposed to be powerful. The suppressor had limited human understanding of physics and energy. Their weapons should have been weak. They were not weak anymore. Beams of pure white light cut through alien armor like it was nothing. Missiles exploded with force that shattered ships into dust. Shields that could survive nuclear weapons failed in seconds. In the first 5 minutes, the human fleet destroyed over 400 alien vessels. On Unity's bridge, moved through the battle with perfect calm. Her enhanced mind tracked every enemy ship, calculated every trajectory, and found every weakness. Group 7 target their energy cores. Group 3 break their formation on the left flank. Group 12 protect our carriers. Her officers obeyed instantly. Every command was understood and executed within seconds. There was no confusion, no hesitation, just perfect, deadly efficiency. Admiral watched his fleet being torn apart and could not understand what was happening. These were not the humans he knew. These were not the weak, limited creatures who had begged for scraps at the council table. These were something else entirely. "What are they?" he whispered. "Sir, we are losing ships at an unsustainable rate," his officer reported. "Over 1,000 destroyed in the first hour. We need to retreat. We have 12,000 ships. They have 300. And they are winning, sir. They are winning easily." The battle continued for 3 more hours. It was not a fight. It was a lesson. Human pilots flew with reflexes so fast that alien weapons could not track them. Human gunners aimed with precision that seemed like magic. Human engineers kept damaged ships running when they should have exploded. And through it all, Commander led from the front, her ship dancing through the enemy fleet like a predator among prey. By the 4th hour, the alien fleet was broken, 5,000 ships destroyed, 3,000 more damaged beyond repair. The rest were fleeing in every direction, abandoning the battle. Watched them run and felt no satisfaction, only a cold sense of justice. "Commander, we have incoming transmission from the alien flagship," her communications officer reported. "Admiral is requesting to surrender." "Put him through." Admiral's face appeared on the screen. He looked old and broken. All the arrogance was gone. "Commander," he said, his voice trembling, "the Council, we accept defeat. We will withdraw all forces. We will negotiate peace terms. Whatever Earth demands, we will consider." Stared at him for a long moment. "You imprisoned our species for 100,000 years," she said. "You stole our strength. You stole our intelligence. You stole our children's futures. You did all of this because you were afraid of what we might become." She leaned forward. "And now you ask for mercy." Swallowed hard. "We were wrong, we admit that, but please, the killing must stop. We are not your enemies anymore." "No," agreed. "You are not, you are something much less, you are nothing." She ended the transmission and turned to her officers. "Signal the fleet. Let the survivors go. They will carry our message back to the Council. They will tell everyone what happened here. They will tell them what Earth has become." The human fleet stopped firing. The alien survivors fled into the darkness of space, carrying tales of horror and defeat. On Earth, the news spread within minutes. Humanity had won. Not just one, dominated. 300 ships against 12,000, and the aliens had been crushed. People celebrated in the streets. They shouted and cried and hugged each other. For the first time in history, humanity had shown the galaxy what it could really do. But in his command center, Admiral did not celebrate. He watched the reports from the battle and thought about what came next. The Council would not surrender easily. They had too much to lose. This battle was just the beginning. He contacted on her ship. "Excellent work, Commander. The world is proud of you." "Thank you, Admiral, but this is not over." "No, it is not. Bring the fleet home, rest your people, then prepare for Phase 2. Phase 2. Looked at the star map on his wall. Thousands of planets, billions of lives, all still under Council control. We are going to visit the Council headquarters, and we are going to have a very serious conversation about the future of this galaxy." Smiled. "I look forward to it, sir." The chains were broken. The first battle was won. Now it was time to change the galaxy forever. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so silent. Admiral walked through the massive doors with on his left and on his right. Behind them came 50 human soldiers, their enhanced bodies radiating power and confidence. Every representative in the chamber watched them enter, and every representative was afraid. The Council had not invited humanity here. They had no choice. After the battle, the human fleet had traveled directly to the Council station. They had not asked permission. They had simply arrived. "You cannot be here," Ambassador said, but his voice was weak. "This is sacred ground. Only invited delegates." Silence. His voice was not loud, but it carried through the entire chamber, closed his mouth and sat down. Walked to the center of the room. He looked at the representatives around him. 300 species, all of whom had participated in humanity's imprisonment, all of whom had known the truth and said nothing. "I am not here to ask for anything," began. "I am here to tell you how things will be from now on." A warrior stood up. His people were known for their pride and their refusal to bow to anyone. "You won one battle, human. That does not make you rulers of the galaxy." Smiled. "You are right. One battle proves nothing, but let me tell you what will happen if you resist us." He activated a display. Images appeared in the air above them. "These are the locations of every suppressor in the galaxy, every cage you have built around intelligent species. We have found them all, every single one." The chamber erupted in gasps and whispers. That information was the most closely guarded secret in the galaxy. "In the next few hours," continued, "we will begin transmitting instructions to those species. We will tell them what you did to them. We will tell them how to deactivate their suppressors. And we will watch as they wake up, just as we did." Fear turned to terror. The representatives imagined dozens of species all reaching their full potential at once, all angry, all looking for revenge. "You cannot do this," said. "It would be chaos, wars everywhere, billions would die." "Perhaps," agreed. "But that is your fault, not ours. You built the cages. You created the lies. You designed a galaxy based on keeping others weak so you could stay strong. Now you will face the consequences." "What do you want?" asked desperately. "Tell us what you want, we will give you anything." Shook his head. "You still do not understand. We are not here to bargain. We are here to judge." Stepped forward. She carried a device in her hands, a small tablet that seemed ordinary but contained data that would change everything. "This contains records from the suppressor network," she explained. "Every decision made by the Council, every species targeted, every vote taken. We know who built the first suppressors. We know who supported the program through the ages. We know everything." She turned to face the Council. 7 species led the suppressor project from the beginning. They are the true rulers of this galaxy, hiding behind the Council's democratic appearance. They made decisions that affected trillions of lives without consent or knowledge. Named them, 7 species, including the representatives from those species shrank in their seats. "These 7 will be removed from the Council immediately," declared. "Their governments will be restructured under human supervision. Their military forces will be disbanded. Their technology will be shared equally with all species." "That is conquest," shouted an elder. "You criticize us for controlling others and then you do the same." "No," said calmly. "Conquest is taking something that does not belong to you. We are returning what was stolen. Power will be given back to the species you suppressed. Knowledge will be shared openly. The galaxy will be free." He looked around the chamber one more time. "You have a choice. Accept these terms and help build a better galaxy, or resist and watch everything you built burn." The vote took less than an hour. It was not even close. 3 months later, stood on a planet she had never seen before. The sky was purple, and the plants were blue, and the air smelled like flowers she could not name. It was the of a species called who had been suppressed for even longer than humans. Their suppressor had been deactivated 2 weeks ago. Now they were waking up, just as humanity had. An elder approached her. He was small and delicate, with large eyes that reflected the purple sky. Before the awakening, his species had been considered simple and primitive. Now could see the intelligence shining in his eyes. "You are the human who freed us," he said. "I helped," replied, "but you freed yourselves. We just showed you where the cage was." The elder smiled. "For 300,000 years we dreamed of being more than what we were. We thought those dreams were foolish. Now we know they were memories, memories of what we were meant to be." Nodded, what will you do with your freedom? Learn, grow, build, create. Everything we should have done for 300,000 years. Across the galaxy, the same scene was repeated. Species after species discovered their true potential. Some were angry, some were grateful, all were transformed. The old order was dying. The council still existed, but it was different now. The 7 ruling species had been removed. New representatives had taken their place, and humanity sat at the center, not as conquerors but as liberators. Admiral watched it all from Earth. He was old now, even with his enhanced. The battles were over. The work of building remained. Visited him often. She had become the commander of the new Galactic Defense Force, a multi-species military that protected all worlds equally. The last suppressor was deactivated today, she reported. Every species in the galaxy is now free. How many species in total? 47, all awakening, all growing. Smiled, the galaxy will never be the same. Is that good or bad? It is what it is. Change is neither good nor bad, it is simply necessary. Sat beside him and looked out at the stars. Do you ever wonder what humanity would have been if they had never built the suppressor, if we had developed naturally for 100,000 years? Thought about it. I think we would have reached the stars long ago. I think we would have met other species as equals. I think history would have been very different. But we did not get that chance. No, we did not, so we will build that future now. It will take longer, it will be harder, but we will get there. Joined them as the sun set over Earth. The 3 of them sat together in comfortable silence. The scientist, the soldier, and the leader. They had changed everything. Outside, children played in the streets. Enhanced children who would never know the limitations their parents had suffered. They would grow up in a galaxy of equals, a galaxy of freedom. The chains were broken forever. Humanity had risen, and the galaxy would never forget the warning that Earth had given. They had been held back for 100,000 years. But that had ended now.